What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about the brand new album from the band 17 Crash. The name of the album is Stamina. It actually releases today, November 18th. So you can just go check it out right now. But anywho, before I talk about the album itself and get into that nitty gritty, you all know it. Let's check out the cover. So boom, there it is. Take a look at the cover there. That's just a rockin' looking cover right there. I tell you what, it just looks really cool. It's like a weight, one of those weights like on the bars and stuff, lifting weights kind of thing. This is established 2011, which is when the band started, and just 17 Crash and like the fire and the sparks in the background. Oh man, it just looks rocking, rocking like just like a classic like 80s kind of heavy rock feel with the stamina down there. So it's a very simple cover, but it gets the job done. I like it. Looks cool. Looks like it's got some attitude behind it. So I feel like it helps it stand out. If you're looking through some records at the record shop, you never heard of the band before, and you see that cover, it's like, ooh, yeah, this looks interesting. Like it's got, yeah, some rockin' attitude to it. And as far as does it properly convey the sound of the album, if you were just to buy it based on the cover alone, take it home, would you be disappointed by what you hear? No, not really. The the album, there's a lot more nuance and a lot more character, I would say, and diversity to the album than the cover really conveys. But it's definitely like a rock album, melodic rock, melodic hard rock with some other elements in there. So I don't think you would be disappointed. It's not like you get home and listen to it and it's I don't know, death metal or something like that, or indie pop. No, so I think it does a good job of conveying what's in the album. But the album has far more, I say, surprises than the cover represents. The cover makes it look like it's a little bit more of like a straightforward kind of rock, hard rock album, and it's anything but. There's a lot more to it than that. But still, you wouldn't be shocked by what you hear. So yeah, it's cool. Like I said, gets the job done. Looks looks neat. So yeah, good stuff. One thing that's funny too, when I was thinking about the name of the band, 17 Crash. I was like, it's interesting band name, because if you just hear like, oh, someone's like, oh, have you heard of this band called 17 Crash? I feel like you would either think it's in the like the punk rock genre or like ska, because I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of the bands that have like a number in it are like the punk rock, like back in the day, Blink 182, Sum 41, stuff like that. And then like just 17 Crash, it almost just has kind of like a ska kind of vibe to it. But anywho, the cover does a good job of letting you know it's neither punk rock nor ska. So anywho, I don't know, I just a little anecdote there, but uh, yeah. So this bad boy, it comes out today, November 18th, when I post this video. It's got 11 tracks on here, and it comes in about 41 minutes or so. It's in that ballpark. So good track amount, good length of the album. That's kind of right in that sweet spot of where I like it. It doesn't drag on too long. There's really no filler in here. Every song carries its weight and feels like it belongs. So yeah, on that front, I dig it. But as far as the sound on what you're gonna get here, I'm just gonna be straight up. I was very impressed with this album. These folks have a lot of spunk, a lot of personality, and they really bring a lot to the table as far as the sound goes here on this album. Because ultimately, the best way I can describe it, genre-wise, is it's like a fusion of like three different genres. I would say predominantly it's like melodic rock, melodic hard rock, but then there's also some glam in there. But then there's also some elements of power metal in there. So it's this really cool fusion of like a melodic rock, glam metal, and power metal, or glam rock, and power metal. And it's just really, really well done. I mean, they just do such a great job of kind of combining those styles And some songs, lean more towards one or the other, but a lot of the songs are kind of a combination of them. So the band clearly doesn't just define themselves as just one style. They really have a lot of influences and just bring their own personality and characters to it. And that is very evident just in the sound and the style of the songs, and that they again, the band just has a lot of personality, and it just comes through in the music, and it's very contagious. There's some good energy in there as well, and so yeah, that's the best way I can kind of describe genre-wise how they are. But just such great melodies in here, just catchy, infectious, wonderful melodies in here. Really, there's moments where the guitar is very driven, and energetic. You get some great solo work, but you also get some more intimate guitar work, and you also get. I'll get into a little bit later, but you also get some interesting extra little things. Like with the guitar, kind of like an acoustic style. I'll talk about it shortly, but again, it's just you get all kinds of different, a full range of guitar work here, and it's all just very well done, very very tightly done, and like I said, you get some killer solos as well in there, and yeah, really good stuff. The keyboard is excellent. You get lots of different kinds of sounds through the keyboard. Sometimes it's more of like a piano kind of sound. Other times, you get a little bit of like the synth, the pads, stuff like that. And then other times, it almost sounds, I'm pretty sure, like there's a couple songs in here where you kind of get like a brass kind of sound, like saxophone or even almost like trumpet kind of thing. I'm pretty sure it's done with the keyboard, but it's done really, really well. And again, the keyboard really adds a nice flavor to the background of the songs, a nice uh, backdrop, if you will. But other times, it really adds some nice pep. Like for instance, one of the songs where I said it kind of you get a little bit of like a brass kind of sound, really adds a nice pep, kind of a party. Um, Upbeat kind of vibe. So yeah, the keyboard work is really, really good. The drum work is really, really fantastic as well. Again, through all these different styles and tempos, and the drum work, keeps the energy going, but also has some nuance, some great fills, things like that. And the bass, the bass gets some highlighted moments from time to time as well. So I always like that when there's times where you can really hear the bass. The bass takes a little bit of the forefront, this and that. It's not too terribly often that it really kind of takes the forefront, but there's definite moments in here where you can really hear the bass and it's kind of carrying a section of the song. So I dig that. And the vocals, man, what a range! What a range this guy has. And again, not only in the music is there a lot of personality and character, but also in the vocals and his delivery and just the way that like I say, like he just delivers the lines and in the melodies, and he just does a phenomenal job. Sometimes he's really kind of wailing, almost power metal style. Other times he kind of brings it down a notch and you get a little bit more of a lower register, but he's really all over the place, and just really captures that energy. And but also times when it's a little bit more impassioned or emotional or whatnot, and he really nails that as well. So just a great, great job. But yeah, the album starts out. Track one is a song for Ennio. It's about 2 minutes long. It's such a sick way to start the album. It's like a western kind of song. It sounds like it from a western, movie or something like that. Even complete with the whistling and all that. So tight. It just has such a cool atmosphere and just a killer way to start the album. It got me hyped just right from that, and then it just goes right into Higher, which was released as a single. This is one of those songs I feel like definitely has a little bit of some power metal elements in there. Oh, I love this song. It just gets stuck in my head. Got a great rhythm, great melody. Vocals are just awesome. Track 3, My World, is another single. I highly recommend you check out both singles. If you haven't listened to this band yet, check out Higher and My World. Gives you a great idea of what to expect on the album, and they're both awesome. Um, was it Keep Yourself Alive? That's the song that, in my opinion, or not, it has like that the brass kind of thing that I think is like with the keyboard, like I said, but it's a really great kind of like upbeat kind of party kind of song. Just the way that the keyboard is used, especially, and just the nature of the song. It just really is infectious and fun. I really dig it. Um, and Track 7, Reach for the Sky, is another one of the kind of, I feel like Higher, My World, and Reach for the Sky probably are the three songs with the most power metal influence. Um, Reach for the Sky has a little bit of like a Stradivarius feel to it, kind of. I think anyone who's familiar with Stradivarius, if you hear this song, you'll kind of get what I mean. Like, it's not like, oh man, this sounds like a straight up Stradivarius song, but there's vibes. There's like just it just kind of has a little bit of that quality, just maybe in the melody and the structure of the song. Just reminded me of Stradivarius a little bit, but it's a great song. Track 6, In My Dreams, is kind of like a ballad kind of deal. And oh, I forgot to mention track 2, Higher. The end of that song is very interesting. The very end of it is kind of NSFW. Like, don't let your grandma overhear at the end of that song, from your room. She'll probably fall out of a rocker and then come throw a Bible at you or something like that. But it just, again, this band just has a fun personality. They're a bunch of characters, and they just have fun with it, but they also kind of get serious and can have impassioned moments and whatnot, but they also just have a lot of spunk and character. And it kind of brings me back to track 6, In My Dreams. That's kind of like a ballad, sort of deal, but at the end of it, even just the way that he ends the song, is a little like, it just, a lot of ballads kind of end with like the way that he kind of does it, but his version of it is just a little bit like unorthodox, just a little like tongue in cheek. I feel like, and it just adds to the character and the fun of just the band, and I dig it. I would say after Reach for the Sky, when you get into track 8, 9, 10, 11, that's when things become much more on the melodic rock side, much more heavily on that. But those are great songs as well. And track 11, Strike First, has some really cool, like Cobra Kai from the Karate Kid. Definitely, there's like a little clip from Cobra Kai, from the Karate Kid movie, like the originals, and in there, and it just has that kind of vibe, and this kind of just get out there and just take the world by the horns and whatnot, and be strong and do what you got to do out there. And so there's some really cool messages in here interwoven with their kind of just fun, spunky personality. So it's really, really neat. One thing, I mean, it was ending with Strike First is fitting the way that it is, but I think it would have been really neat, ending with like maybe another minute and a half or so of the style of the first song, a Song for Ennio, kind of back into that little bit of a Western vibe, and kind of let that trail off, and close out the album, kind of starting with that, ending with that. I think would have been pretty neat, but as it is, Strike First is a great way to end it. Anyway, I was very, very impressed with this album. It was quite the surprise. Great melodies, great fusion of some genres there. It's fun. It's got some good messages in there as well. It gets serious also. But yeah, just this band has such a great personality and vibe and style, and I was quite blown away. So many songs on here that I just love. The album honestly is phenomenal. I highly recommend it for any melodic rock fans or even power metal fans. I think there's something, for a lot of different folks, to enjoy in here. It just really, really impressed me, to be honest. So highly recommend this thing. Just a really, really fun, great album. that is quite different from a lot of different things, especially kind of in the melodic rock genre, glam kind of genre. I feel like they really stand out here, at least with this album. They've really outdone themselves, outdone themselves here, and I think are really gonna make a mark with this thing. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Check out the singles "Higher" or "My World" or both to get an idea of the album. But I just recommend you just check out this thing. It's just a lot of fun, and yeah, I just enjoyed it a lot. So let me know in the comments down below if you've listened to this album already, or if you've listened to the singles, what you think of them. Once you hear the album, if you check it out, come back here and let's talk about it. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, like I said, I really can't say enough of like how surprised I was with how good this album is. You know, based on the singles, I had some high hopes, but this album, it just really kind of took me off guard. I think it's one of the bigger surprises of the year, to be honest with you. Um, but just quite how good it is. So yeah, I can't recommend it enough. It's a blast. Really great stuff in here. And yeah, that's what I got for you. That's 17 Crash with their brand new album, Stamina. Check it out. And thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Ranger, out.